Hello and welcome to Wendell's Guide to doing Deadmine Heroics as a hunter. This first boss takes on a lot of aspects for raiding, and if you can avoid them, you'll actually get an achievement ready for raiding. Um, Basically, what he does is the first thing he does is he'll summon ads. You can either single target kill them, AoE target kill them, MD them to the tank, or just let the tank kill them. Usually, you just let the tank kill them and keep DPSing the boss, because they just keep spawning. The other thing he'll do is he'll put a frost circle on the ground, and you don't want to stand in that because it'll summon frost damage. And the final ability he does is he'll have a firewall which emanates from him and just slowly circles around, and you just have to slowly circle with it to avoid taking damage from it. So he's about to transition and start doing all those things. So he summons adds, those little orbs turn into the firewall, which you can just see they turn to the firewall. You can see the frost patch in the ground. You can see all the ads being spawned. And essentially you just want to avoid standing in anything bad. You can see one person died, so they're not ready for raiding, and one person apparently is ready for raiding. I already had the achievement, so I couldn't get it again. For this boss, really there's not a whole lot to look out for. You just DPS the boss. There will be mines being thrown from up on top of the log, so you just or bombs. You just move out of them before they explode. Occasionally he'll do a chest bomb. If he does it on you, you just want to get under the log, so that because it'll throw you high into the air. So if you get under the log, then you won't take any fall damage, and you'll just hit the log and come back down. After you do enough damage to the lumbering oaf, you just want to finish him off, but the actual goblin will pop off, and then that's when you start killing the goblin after the lumbering oaf is dead. The goblin is the actual boss. You can try killing the ads as well up on top of the log, but they'll respawn once you kill the lumbering oaf, and it takes a while to kill them. Even with my gear level, it takes a little bit to kill them. You can see I'm doing a little bit of damage there. It's still not enough. So those aren't easily killed. So this is one instance where it's better to actually kill the boss and the ads, since all you could really do with them is avoid the bombs. Okay, for this next part, I'm going to show you the two ways you do this. One is if you're in the prototype. Basically what you do in the prototype is you press 112, 112, 112. One, it will basically attack and do damage to the mob, and give you 20 energy every time you use it. Two will allow you to charge the enemy, dealing some damage and stunning them for a brief time. Three will actually knock them back, which if they go up the ramp, and I'll show you at the end of this, you can actually push them off the ramp so they fall back down. But generally you just want to do 112, 112. Occasionally you can actually go 1112, 11112. But generally, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much as long as they don't get up the ramp. You can see I built up 100 energy here, so I can actually like charge multiple times. And I'm as far as this goes, I'm trying to maintain high energy so that in case a second one spawns. But it really doesn't matter as long as you do 112, 112. So I'm just going la-di-da, 112. And if you're just spamming that repeatedly, they'll barely even get onto the ramp itself. And as long as the boss is being tanked up top, it won't matter. So you just start out with a charge and then 1 1 2 1 1 2. You can see he's barely even been able to move. I'm just like, oh yeah. So this one, yeah, this is normally where you end up having, if it goes on long enough, you'll actually have multiple mobs starting to spawn at the same time, or around the same time. But I think this next one, I'm actually going to let it go. It's either this next one or the one after this. I'll actually let it go up the ramp a little bit and then push it off, just so you can see the how number 3 works. Okay, it must be this one, yeah. So I'm just like, blah. Yeah, so you can see I let it get up the ramp and then I literally just push it off. I go 3 and it just falls off. So you only need to do 3 if you're kind of getting in an emergency situation and it starts actually getting high up on the ramp and you're being overloaded. Pretty easy. So for the actual encounter though, if you're not in the Prototype Reaper, basically you'll be DPSing the boss, preferably up the ramp, which for some weird reason the tank was like, oh, I'm going to tank it down here. He's got a couple abilities, Overdrive, which you can see right now he's doing. You basically don't want to be in melee range for that. And if you see him running towards you, he just kind of wanders in different directions. So if you see him running towards you, you literally just run away. The other ability he does is an ability called Harvest, which he's about to do. And he harvests at someone, and then you can see it was at the druid, and then wherever the druid was located, he'll run up to that location and start doing damage. So you just have to run out of that location, and it's pretty much about not being in melee range. And if you see him coming towards you like he is right now, you just run away. Being a hunter, it's easier to DPS this than a melee, because in melee you're constantly having to run in and out. Usually it's better for the melee to do the Prototype Reaper. But that's pretty much how you kill this boss. For this boss, basically he doesn't really have any abilities himself that you have to worry about as a hunter. You just DPS him. The one thing he will do is he'll go into a mist phase right here, where he'll start summoning ads. And your job as a hunter is to kill the ads as quickly as possible. The longer they're alive, the more damage they start doing to everyone. It'll be a little harder for you to damage and kill them depending on your gear level. I'm obviously like Dragon Soul gear level, so it's pretty easy for me to just kill them in a couple shots. But obviously you won't be able to kill them in a couple shots if you're of the appropriate gear level for this dungeon. The best thing to do, it's a little hard for the tank to get aggro, and obviously you can't empty everyone to the tank, so the best thing to do is to concussive shot them, and then once they're slow, DPS them, and just kind of kite them around and DPS them while you're kiting. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. You're literally just kill the ads, and then once all the ads are dead, you can put some more DPS back on the boss. So just kill the ads, concussive shot them if they start coming towards you, which they probably will. Yeah, you probably won't be able to 2 or 3 shot them like I am. So definitely want to be using concussive shot, because they'll be running your way. You'll be like, oh no!
I will rip your heart from your chest.
And that's pretty much this entire fight. Just kill ads and then go back to the boss. Eventually he'll start spawning multiple ads, but hopefully you'll have killed him by then. For this next boss, it's kind of a group effort, but basically the boss himself doesn't really do anything to you. You just DPS the boss, but what you're going to want to do that makes him kind of unique is he will throw bad food and good food on the ground. The good food doesn't do anything, but it has a golden glow below it. The bad food will have a green swirly below it, and if you stay in the green swirly, you take damage. The good food, when you eat it, gives you a buff that allows you to cast faster. The bad food just does damage to you when you eat it. So basically what you want to do is you want to eat one bad food and one good food. And that's pretty much your rotation for the mechanic of this fight, is just you eat one bad food, and then when you eat one good food, you get rid of the bad food debuff. You can have multiple bad food debuffs, just don't build up too many. So if you get like 2 or 3, make sure you eat a good food and then like another good food. You don't want to get more than like 3 stacks, or you'll start taking too much damage. You kind of want to prioritize which green stuff you eat. You want to eat like the ones in melee range so that they won't, because obviously melee have to be in melee range to do damage, so you want to eat those ones first, and then eat, obviously eat good to get rid of the debuff, but you just want to get rid of all the stuff in melee range so that they have an easier time DPSing the boss, and then once the stuff in melee range is gone, you can eat the stuff in the outer range. But that's pretty much that boss. For this next boss, I'm actually going to show you the entire gauntlet, just because it's got a bunch of kind of unique stuff to it, and I've noticed a lot of people tend to die during the gauntlet. For this first part, you just want to click on all 4 of these little valves. Once all 4 have been clicked, you kind of get thrown out and back onto this platform. Initially, you start out dazed. Just avoid the fire. After like a few seconds, you get undazed. So pretty much from here, you just avoid the fire. Run down, jump down at the end. From here, you want to actually avoid the fire, and there will be like a large circular frosting on the ground, and you want to avoid that because it'll have ice that gets thrown into it and damage you. Once you get to the boss, just try and make sure everyone's around or near you, and then just empty it to the tank. And you just literally DPS the boss while avoiding these frost circles. Once he's dead, you'll have another boss. Just DPS the boss, and then there will be a ton of spiders. Ignore the spiders and just focus on DPSing the boss. I don't think you can DPS him if he hops on your head, but if he hops on your head, you can like throw some traps down, I guess, and he'll take a little bit of damage from them. But yeah, just DPS the boss, ignore the ads, because there'll be a ton of ads, and you can't kill them all. From here, you're gonna go into like what we call the Mario hallway, where you're gonna have a lot of these lightning lines or whatever, I forget what we call them, but you just want to avoid them. Basically, you want to look at the lightning that you're about to go through and the one that you're headed towards, and you want to just position yourself and make sure that you're headed in a direction where you won't get hit. So you can see they're all getting hit, but I have yet to get hit. You just literally want to move with them. And then at the end, you just start DPSing the boss once everyone's there, killing it. I find it pretty easy, but a lot of people find it hard, so generally I just move along with the actual electrical orbs, I guess. I just move in the direction they're moving and then move on to the next one.
Ripsnarl wasn't always a bloodthirsty savage. Once, he even had a family. He was called James Harrington, a tragedy in 3 parts.
From here, you're going to have this first pack of wolves you kill. At the other end, where the ramp goes up to the actual ship, you're going to have another pack of wolves, and at the top of the ship, you'll have one more wolf who actually doesn't do anything. You just DPS them. You get a buff which makes you go really, really fast, which you pretty much need in order to meet the gauntlet thing, but nothing really special, just DPS them as fast as you can. And if you can get all 3 packs of wolves down in time and then engage, you don't actually have to kill, you just have to start the fight with Van Cleef before the 5 minutes are up. And as long as you do that, you'll get the achievement, which we're gonna, it'll be close on this one, but we're gonna get the achievement. I already have it, but everyone else will get it. So I just like pop my cooldowns and kill James Harrington, who he has a little bit more HP than the other wolves, but not too hard. He doesn't do anything, fight back or anything. And I've got an MD on my tank, and that was, if he hadn't come up there in the next like 2 seconds, I would have just emptied the boss to him. But he got up there in time, so we got the achievement. So for this boss, basically what she does is she'll do deflection. A lot of times she does it whenever the ads actually start coming out. So when she does that, just focus down the ads, like empty the ads under the tank, and then kill the ads. Once the ads are dead, you just go back to killing her. Occasionally, I think 66 and 33%, or actually she's a little late with that. She'll basically plant explosives on the ship, so you just have to find a little rope and get on it before the ship explodes, like that. Generally you want to get in front of the one you're going to use so that everyone can kind of go, oh, there's someone in front of here, let me go find the other rope. Then you come back, she'll deturn, so you just empty the ads, kill all the ads, and then go back to her. If you get a buff where you've got a bunch of red stuff swirling around you, make sure you're not staying near anyone. You'll do damage to them. And likewise, don't stand anyone with that red swirly stuff around them, because it'll damage you. You can see she's about to, yeah, she jumps up on there and she's about to make the ship explode again. Just get on a rope. Be like, wee. And then from here on out, there's no more ads, you just kill her. And basically for this, what you want to do is you want to kill her at range. And at 1 HP, she'll drop a bomb where she is, so just get as far away as you can. Don't do what I did and run in close. But yeah, you get as far away from her as you can, and you'll hopefully survive the blast from her personal bomb. And that's pretty much the entire dungeon. Hope this guide was helpful, and thanks for watching.